So you did everything they told you to do. You worked hard, you got the job, even started your side hustle, but it still doesn't feel like freedom. You're chasing success, but it's starting to feel like this never-ending treadmill. And if you don't pause to question the path you're on, then you might spend the next decade building a life that looks good on the outside, but quietly drains you on the inside. So in this video, I'll break down 10 powerful lessons from The Happy Sexy Millionaire, which is the book that helped me redefine what success actually means. So you can stop performing someone else's dream and start building a life that feels rich on your own terms. Let's start with the first idea. Success doesn't guarantee happiness, and most people realize that far too late. So when I finished building my dream studio, this one here, I thought I'd finally made it. Yeah. Years of hard work, sacrifice, and saving all poured into this one perfect space. Yeah. And for a while I felt amazing, like I was finally becoming the person that I wanted to be. But then the high faded quicker than I expected. And it reminded me of what Stephen Bartlett described at 23, where he had the company, the money, the followers, right? He ticked every box society tells you to tick, but it still felt empty, you know? Because success on its own doesn't heal your insecurities. It doesn't solve loneliness. It doesn't make you like yourself. We assume that once we make it, we'll feel different. But often, we just feel more of what was already there. So if you're unhappy now, success won't magically fix it. Build that inner peace first, then let success amplify it, not replace it. Lesson 2. Self-worth isn't built through achievements. There's this quiet belief that many of us carry here, that if I just achieve this one thing, then I'll finally feel like I'm enough. And that belief drove Stephen for years. Every win was another shot at earning love, proving his worth, silencing the voice in his head that said that he wasn't good enough. But the bar kept moving. If I'm honest, I've felt it too. Like you hit a goal, you feel great for a day, then the self-doubt creeps back in. So you chase another milestone, hoping that one will finally make you feel whole. Chasing achievement to find self-worth is like pouring water into a bucket with a hole. You'll never feel like you've made it if you don't believe you're worthy right now. Lesson 3, happiness is a skill, not a destination. We grew up thinking happiness is the prize, yeah, that you get once you've worked hard enough. Once you've made enough money, once you've fixed all your flaws. But happiness isn't a destination you arrive at, it's a skill you practice. There's a reason people feel deflated after they hit their goals, yeah? I learned this concept where it's called the hedonic treadmill, where you adapt and the joy wears off. The mind wants more, and I've seen it in my own life, you know, where buying something new or getting great news, landing a win, where the excitement spikes, then levels off every time. And Stephen explains it like this. Happiness isn't found in the future, it's trained in the present. Through small rituals, through how you think, through how you live day to day. If you can't enjoy the small moments, no amount of success will fill the gap. Lesson 4, money can buy happiness, but only to a point. There was a time I believed more money was the answer to every single thing. You want freedom, money. You want happiness, money. You want peace, you guessed it, yeah, money. Then I came across this research showing that happiness increases with income only up to around $75,000 per year. And after that, the gains just flatten out really, really fast. Stephen's take on this was even more personal, yeah. He realized that once his basic needs were met, more money didn't make him happier. It just made him busier, yeah. More distracted, more stressed, and money is a tool, but it's not the solution. Because it's not about chasing millions, it's about using what you have to buy what matters to you. So here's the real takeaway from this. Don't chase money for the lifestyle, chase it for the leverage, for the ability to live on your terms, not someone else's. Lesson 5, love and relationships matter more than status. For most of my 20s, I measured life through milestones. Yeah, hit this goal, build that business, prove that I'm not a failure, but falling in love and beginning to build a life with my fiance completely like rewired how I think. Suddenly, it was no longer about achievements. Yeah, it was about moments, the day to day, cooking together, laughing late into the night about any and everything, talking through hard days and hard moments, holding each other down, lifting each other up, planning a future that actually feels like ours, you know. And Steven had a similar wake-up call. In the book, he says, I had the money, the success, the recognition, but I still felt alone. What I craved wasn't applause, it was connection, and no amount of followers could give me that. And research backs this too. Yeah, the Harvard study of adult development tracked people for over 80 years, and the number one predictor of their long-term happiness was not money, it was not fame, it was relationships. Success means nothing if you've got no one to share it with. Investing in our relationships returns more joy than any salary ever could. Lesson 6, the lies we believe about success. We are sold this dream. Get rich, get famous, get respect, then you'll be happy. Yeah. But Steven breaks this down completely. He says that true success isn't about how things look, it's about how life feels. There are millionaires who are absolutely miserable, entrepreneurs who hate the businesses they've built, influencers with status and no peace. Meanwhile, some people with average incomes wake up excited every day. They're in control, they're free, because success without alignment is just a prettier version of being stuck. So the takeaway is, redefine success, not by what the world celebrates, but by what your soul needs. Yeah. And if this is something you've been thinking about, then I built a free tool that can help. It's called Answer, and it's designed to give you a bit more clarity, a bit more calm, and help you start building your own path to your definition of freedom. Yeah. You'll find the link below if you want to check it out. Lesson 7, the dangers of comparison. I once sat at a friend's wedding, looking around just thinking, wow, everyone here seems to have it figured out but me. Perfect jobs, perfect couples, perfect lives, or so it seemed. But I've learned that comparison is this trick mirror. It shows you someone else's highlight reel, while hiding their behind the scenes, their day-to-day. And social media turns this trick into a consistent feed. Steven says he constantly felt behind, even when he was ahead of most people in his age group, because he was always looking sideways. And if you measure life by looking at someone else's yardstick, then you'll never win. Growth is personal, and real joy begins when you stop performing and start living for you. Lesson 8, you need less than you think. So we often imagine that happiness lives just beyond the next upgrade. But some of Steven's happiest moments came when he had the least. The early days, when he was building something from scratch, surrounded by people who believed in him. And I really feel that, because some of my most just peaceful moments weren't tied to money at all. They were about meaning, reading a good book, creating something I was proud of, building our first business with my best friend from nothing, from scratch. Laughing with my family and the silliest memes late into the night. It's not about how much you have, it's about how little you need to feel full. We don't need to clutter our lives chasing more. Just simplify, and pay attention to what already brings you peace. Lesson 9, rewriting your story. I used to think success meant proving myself. Proving I could make it without a 9-to-5. Proving I wasn't falling behind. Proving I was worth listening to, But here's the thing, that story never ends. The more you achieve, the more pressure you feel. And even your wins stop feeling like wins. Steven talks about this too, where he realized that he was living a script that wasn't his. One written by society, social media, and survival. So he decided to rewrite it. and I'm doing the same. Your story isn't like set in stone. You can edit, rewrite, and begin again. Don't let your past, your culture, or Instagram write your script. Take the pen back and tell a story that you're proud to live. And lesson 10, you're already enough. This one is the hardest one to believe. And to date, I personally still struggle with it. Because no matter how many goals you hit, if you don't believe you're enough, you'll always be chasing, And Stephen writes about this beautifully. No external success can fill that internal void. Most of us are trying to earn our worth through output. But what if you just stopped? What if you decided that right now, as you are, you're enough, That you're not this project that needs to be fixed. That you're a person to be loved, including by yourself. Yes, work towards those goals, Build those wild dreams and make them come true. But never forget that on the way there, you're really worthy of peace, of love, and rest. Right now, as you are. So those 10 lessons completely shifted how I think about success. And more importantly, what I want out of life. And I hope they do the same for you. And if you're ready to go even deeper, then watch this one next, where I break down 10 things I wish I knew in my 20s, now that I'm in my 30s. I'll see you there, Cheers.